Hello there and welcome back to another video. I hope your Wednesday is going to be as good of a Wednesday as it certainly can be. Let's get straight into some Premier League news, and Liverpool and his coaching staff have at least reported to Melwood and will probably be commencing some training today. Now, from what I understand, I think training is between 5 people, maybe between 5 or 10 sets of people. Not entirely sure on that one, but even so, Liverpool look like they are going to be starting to get themselves back into training ahead of a possible restart for the Premier League around the 12th or 15th of June, something like that. Now, obviously, since then, and I'll tell you straight away, as a Liverpool fan, obviously as someone that wants to see us, win the title, lift the Premier League at any point, not just this season, but at any point. I would love to see the Premier League back. I would love to see us, playing football again. Watching the Bundesliga actually made me realise just how much I miss our domestic league, how much I miss our teams in general, and just how much I miss watching Liverpool play. However, yesterday, Watford confirmed that there were 6 positive tests for COVID-19 or the coronavirus or symptoms of it, whatever it was. There were 6 positive tests out of 748. Now, those numbers overall, people are saying it's a positive. It really is a positive, not positive test, but it is a positive that there is less than 1% of people testing positive. However, what we've seen with this virus, it doesn't take long for those small numbers to turn into large numbers very, very quickly, and it's very easy to become naive because of this virus, to take it for granted, to think, oh, we're on a downsloping curve, we're having less deaths per day, technically, but sometimes it ramps up, and it depends. It depends day by day what is happening, and if they become a little bit too slack with the rules and start to really ease off on precautions, lockdowns and stuff like that, and keeping people isolated away from each other, if they start to do that on a bigger scale, then it could get a lot worse than it already has been. There could be a second wave and everything like that could hit, which would hit us so much worse than we've been hit already. And I just don't think it's the big positive that everyone is actually looking for. Now, Watford came out and they said 3 of the tests were theirs, and I think it was 3 of them anyway. May have been 3. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was like 1 player and 2 coaching staff, and Burnley were the other one that had a test positive as well, at least 1 out of the 6. The other 2 positive tests haven't been identified or put out into the public yet, which makes me think, and this is just me thinking out loud just on the spot, makes me think it might be a club that's a bit bigger, a bit higher up the table. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's why they're keeping it under wraps. Now, what I wanted to come on to into this video, as good as it is to see Jurgen Klopp and his coaching staff rock up to Melwood and see them getting back into, doing some training and stuff like that, as good as that is to see, for me, from a selfish point of view, as good as that is to see, does these positive tests really bring home what Troy Deeney was saying? And even Danny Rose, I was reading something earlier about Danny Rose, and he feels that I think a quote of his was, just even being told or asked to go back to football makes me feel like a guinea pig, makes me feel like a test lab rat, or something like that. Now, Danny Rose has been very outspoken for a long time on this about people wanting them to come back. We are not just entertainment value, we are people as well. We are, I don't think he said that we are well paid. Footballers are well paid. They are paid almost extortionate amounts of money. At the same time, people do have to respect as well that they are people. They are people just like me, just like you. I certainly don't earn... I wish I did earn, hand over fist in terms of money, but I certainly don't. And I'm certainly not right now while I'm on furlough, as a lot of people aren't. But they are still people. They shouldn't be used as test rats. And like we say, these positive tests and stuff that have come out for the 6 in the Premier League, the argument other people are making is that, well, there was 10 in the Bundesliga and they came back and they played their weekend of football. They'll be playing this week of football as well. So, why can they come back and why can't England? It's just one of those things. England or the UK, I can't say the UK, I will say England because that's where I live. I can't speak for other parts of the UK, but I can certainly speak for what it feels like in England, is that we just feel horrendously unprepared for everything. Everything seems to be, let's look at what everyone else is doing, and maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't, maybe we'll just wing it and see what happens. But everything in this country, everything in England, is dictated by what's going to happen to the money. What's going to happen to the money? That is literally be all and end all. Politicians and football spokespersons, FA, Premier League, whatever, in whatever line of work it may be, I'm not going to mention my work, but hey, even so, whatever line of work it might be, they can tell you that health and safety is at the forefront of their mind. But it's at the forefront of their mind. Money's just right in front of it, though. Money is right in front of it. Money dictates everything. Money dictates how everything is going to go in this country. It's not right. It's not morally right. But it's the way this country works. The rich get richer and everybody else just has to fall in line. That is just how it is. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. People can disagree. That's your opinion. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to argue with you on it. But that is how it feels here. Now, that is what it is for the Premier League as well. The Premier League want to get themselves back on TV because they want to start getting that revenue back in. At the moment, everything's at a standstill. They're not making money, and they'll have bills to pay as well. They'll have a massive Sky bill. They'll probably have a BT bill as well, because of, and they're not going to get the revenue from the fans. There's clubs that are handing out refunds and stuff to their season ticket fans, which is great to give people back some of their hard-earned spent money during a time when not a lot of people are getting the opportunity to make hard-earned money. That is just a fact of it. So that is really good to see. But the Premier League, their main priority over everything that they say is to get themselves back on TV and to start making money again. I don't think that that's right. Now, what I wanted to say before, does these positive tests ring true to what Troy Deeney was alluding to? Troy Deeney was, some people were saying he was being selfish. You know what? I applaud that man for if he was being selfish in the fact that he was wanting to look after himself, his family, his 5-month-old son who has breathing difficulties or breathing problems, and the fact that Watford have some confirmed positive tests. If Troy Deeney rocks back up to work, he possibly takes that home with him to his son who has breathing problems. It's a disaster waiting to happen on some ways. Does this mean these positive tests and what Troy Deeney was saying, it's too soon for the Premier League to be thinking about coming back? Is that what it means? And anybody that's watched this channel for any amount of time knows I'm a Liverpool fan through and through, want us to win all of the games that we possibly can, want us to win the title. I would love us to do that. Not more than anything, but I would love us to do that, honestly. I really would. I would have said more than anything months ago before this whole pandemic, but that really puts things into perspective of, yeah, I really want Liverpool to win the title. 100%. I really do want them to win it. Not over everything, though. Not over everything. Not over health and safety of the people, the public, and, the football players and everything like that. Like Danny Rose says, they are not lab rats. They are not just there for entertainment value. That's not their lives. A footballer's career is literally a window of their life. If you take a 4-paned window, right, it's literally just one pane. You've still got 3 left. A footballer's career is so short. They shouldn't have it shortened or risked by having to go back into training if they don't feel safe. And I do believe, I don't know whether it applies for footballers, but in the UK there's something called Section 44, where if you don't feel safe enough to go back to work, that the protocols and things that are being put in at your workplace or something like that, if you don't feel safe enough to go back to work, and I urge everyone, if you're in the UK and your employer is being forceful with you going back to work, please Google Section 44 government website. And what it basically means is that if you don't feel like your health and safety is being prioritised, or doesn't feel like your workplace has effective health and safety methods to protect you against this virus, against everything there, it basically means you can refuse to go to work, that you wouldn't get sacked for it, or that you can't be punished for it. That is an important thing that people need to be looking up. There are probably videos on YouTube as well where people with a vast greater knowledge of it than I have can talk about it as well. But someone forwarded it to me because of a couple of things that are going on, and it's exceptionally useful. You don't get told about it by your employer. I don't know whether this is the same sort of thing that can happen with footballers, but you don't get told about it by your employer, because why would you? Because then they basically don't have a leg to stand on if they decide to get rid of you. Unfair dismissal and all that sort of business. I don't know whether that's something that footballers can fall back on. In my opinion, and I've said this for a long time, and people can go back and look at videos recently, and I'll be saying the same thing. I still think 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks is too soon for the Premier League to be coming back, and that's just my opinion as a Liverpool fan. As a Liverpool fan, I genuinely think it's a little bit too soon. I just don't think that this country has been as prepared as somewhere like Germany, and even then, Germany had more positive tests than the Premier League has so far. But again, that is so far. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. I hope you've enjoyed this video in some way, and if you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe. If you're new around here, please feel free to get your thoughts in the comments below. There might be another video coming on later, but if not, there will be one tomorrow updating about anything that gets announced today. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.